What's up? It's your boy Corey B. So for a second, I want to talk about, let's rap about Musk and Twitter and what's happening right now. It seems to be a hot button for a lot of people, and everybody seems to got a whole lot of mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, let's help your boy Corey B. Can you please subscribe, view all our videos? We really need some house to get our new house.
So this is
and we've been praying.
This is Corey. That's my hype man. Y'all know my man.
Y'all need to be wise with your money, because y'all need to get like.
And this is Colton, our financial advisor. Okay. So now, with all that being said, let's get back to it. So let's talk Musk and let's talk Twitter and what's happening right now. Okay. So my perspective and opinion tends to, and this isn't just about Musk, this is about so many other things, politics, so many things. I tend to, some people who know me can respect my opinion and they can respect where I'm coming from, but a lot of times my opinion don't hit right with everybody, because at the end of the day, I don't think things are black and white. And that's where everybody wants to be, especially in this modern age of social media and stuff like that. People want to post their opinions, and they want you to give them constant affirmation that they're on the right track and that they got the right perspective, they got the right beliefs, and this and that. When rarely do they. I mean, rarely does anybody have it 100% right. Not me, not you, not anybody. But nobody wants to be told that they don't got it 100% right. They want to be told that they got it locked down. So people don't really. Everyone wants to know that they got it right, and everybody wants that. Like I said, they want that constant affirmation. They want to feel like they're on point. Okay, but the thing is, okay, so let's talk about Musk. Let's get into it. So Musk right now, I ain't mad at him. And the thing is of all people, the person who most reasonably could be livid and about everything is Dorsey. And Dorsey has said again and again that he's not mad.
Yep, that's actually true, guys.
It is. So Dorsey has said pretty much that he knows this, and he even made a public apology to all the staff that's been released, terminated, sent home. He made an apology because at the end of the day, this was his choice. At the end of the day, he's the one who took the company public. Okay, he had a company. He chose to take it public, which so many people are eager. That's for lots of people. That's the golden dream right there. That's the golden nugget. It's like you want to get your company big enough to get it a publicly traded company, so you got because that opens up all kinds of more revenue and stuff. It does. It opens up. But see, there's a with every give there's a take. Okay. So that's what people miss. Every give, there's a take. So, okay, so you take your company public, you lose some control. You lose more than some. Even as the majority shareholder, you've got a board to answer to at that point. Even if, lots of people have taken their company public, and when they take their company public, they hold on to the majority stake of their shares. They hold on to 52%, 51%, just enough that they can get a lot of revenue, a lot of cash flow coming into the company that they can do more things with. They can expand, they can grow, they can do all these different things, but at the same time they still retain the controlling interest. But that controlling interest is still subject to the board's approval. All right. So Dorsey took his company public, and then eventually he stepped down from his company. He left Parag in charge. The thing is that there's so many different things that so many people can say. Oh yeah, Twitter, it's got some good things, it's got some bad things. It's a social media platform where people can get on there and just talk. And yeah, absolutely, they have a board, and that board is responsible to their shareholders. That is something that everybody has to remember. When you take a company public, you have shareholders. You have every Joe Sixpack sitting at home who's bought into your company. They own 1 share, 10 shares, 20 shares. It don't matter. They own, if they're through some little firm or app or whatever, and they own half of a share, it doesn't matter. They own a piece of that company, and that piece means that they have a voice. It means that if they're pissed off, then it is your responsibility as the board to make sure that they're not. And that is a hard thing to do. Because you're talking about millions of people who none of them agree. So you got to make the best overall calls that you can. That's a hard thing to do. That is a hard thing to do. A lot of people don't even want that responsibility. They're just like flat out. They're like, I don't even want to be. You know, I've known people who had positions on boards. I've been on a board before. I've been on a couple. And the thing is sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes it's really easy, depending on how big the company or how small or how big the company you're representing is, or what it is, your overall goal or platform or whatever, that, you know, that can make it more complicated. The last one that I was a member of, I was a director on a board of a cemetery, and it was pretty simple. The biggest conflict we had was prices of, plots. And ultimately, at some point, we got the lowest cost of plots, around, so maybe that should change. And so, that went before the board. Hey, we need to raise these prices, so we need to set up a committee and research prices and all these different things. And let's really get some information and see where we're going with this. And then let's bring an actual price to the board and bring actual numbers and say, okay, now let's bring the board together and vote on this. Okay, it's weird. It's weird because, that sounds like something so simple, right? It's just simple numbers. It's just simple money. It shouldn't even make the people mad. But see, some people they had generations of their family in this cemetery. Generations. Like several generations. It was a really interesting thing. So when it first was brought to the table, everybody was like, how can we do this? Like, this is like, such a special thing, and this is such a, emotional time. We can keep the numbers and we can still continue to hit our marks, and we're not losing money, and we're doing okay, and we can afford the upkeep, and all the numbers worked, and we don't have to change anything. Why would we do that to people? And the consensus was that everybody agreed. There was only a couple of people who actually thought that we were doing it too cheap. Oddly enough, a year later, it was a pretty common consensus that everybody across the board was like, you know what, we do got to raise those prices. It was weird. It was so weird, but it's people, man. It's people. And so people have thoughts, people have opinions, people have, perspectives about things. And like I said, that's something so simple. That's something that's not nearly as complex or complicated as something as free speech. But like I said, it took a year for people to change their minds about that. Now, when you talk about free speech, yes, everybody has free speech. Free speech, people forget what this amendment actually says. It means the government cannot step in and penalize you for things that you say. The government can't. So is the board of Twitter got the government? No. So if the board of Twitter silences things you're saying because they're pissing off all of their stockholders, are they taking away your free speech? No, they're not. Because you can say all those things, you can speak all those things, but to say it on their platform is a whole different thing. But people don't want to, especially when you're talking about someone like Mr. Elon Musk. He's a man, I'm right here, bro. He's a man with incredibly deep pockets. He's a man with deep pockets and a big ego. As a man myself, who, I don't know, I think my ego is pretty in check. I had a pretty big ego when I was younger, but I think it's pretty in check now. I think I'm a smarter man now. I'm a wiser man now. I'm more, I don't know, maybe smarter's not even. I'm more reasonable, and I've gotten more in touch with God. Let's be real about it. This is not all my doing. This is God. The more I've spent in church, the more I've spent in scripture, the more I've spent in God's word and in prayer, the more I have become a more reasonable person. Hold on one second, champ. So, as I've done that, I've become more reasonable. It's got my ego in check. Okay. And this is not me throwing shade at Musk. Not at all. Like I said, I respect the man for what he is, for what he's doing. And because what he's doing isn't wrong. Well, then get into gray area of what wrong is. Okay. So, I respect the man in a business aspect. As a personal aspect, nah. I'm feeling a type of way, I'll tell you that right now. I don't like manipulations. I don't like lying. Oh, cool, bud. Thanks. I don't like I don't like not being
You need help?
real. Okay, now if you're a man like Musk, you're a businessman, you've got multiple businesses, you've got countless people at your disposal, you've got more money than is reasonable. Now, there's not much you can't get done. Why can't you be honest and be real about what you're doing? Now, see, and that's where my perspective comes in. So, there's a bunch of people who've gotten real up in arms because in the first 12 hours of him taking over Twitter, first 12 hours he took over Twitter, the N-word went up 500% because that word was no longer monitored and removed from Twitter because he says it's free speech. People can say whatever they want. Yeah, of course people can say. But see, he's also taken the company private. What he did, for those who don't understand, and if you're already in the know and you feel like I'm just, spouting a bunch of words, you ain't got to listen. But for those who don't understand, what he did was completely legit, and that's why Dorsey didn't oppose it, and Dorsey supported him, because he took the company public, which means that a hostile takeover, the word hostile is the most accurate word in that whole thing, is a hostile takeover. He took over the company by making a bid towards the board to buy all the shares that everybody, including, people like you and me, just everybody, hanging at home, buying into the stock market, he would acquire all their shares. Yes, of course, for slightly more than they were valued. By the time he, ran his mouth and ran the company into the ground, the shares he was paying more than double what they were actually worth. So people got a good payday. Wasn't their choice to get that payday, but at the end of the day, they got a good payday. But they had no choice in to sell what they bought. Now, like if you buy things, you buy your car, you buy your couch, you buy your, pots and pans in your kitchen, and somebody just walks in and says, well, you bought all those for $50, so I'm going to buy them back from you for $60. Now, that may sound good to you because you're like, hey, I'm making more money, but what if you really like those pans and it's not about the money, it's about the fact that they're yours? And they say, well, it doesn't really matter because I'm buying it. That's why it's called hostile. It's called a hostile takeover because he bought all the shares of the company and then he took the company private. The company is now private, so ultimately he answers to no board, he answers to no one, and he can run the company however he deems fit. So he said nobody's policing the platform anymore for speech. Ultimately, he's not about free speech, though, because at the end of the day, he's all about Musk. He's about his free speech, not everyone's free speech. That's why Kathy Griffin was instantly suspended when she decided to impersonate him on her platform. It still said at Kathy Griffin, but it said Elon Musk, because she decided to change her handle to Elon Musk so she could impersonate him. And when she did, he blocked her account and suspended her account. He said he's all about free speech. Let's say whatever we want. We can say the N-word. We can hate on Jews. We can do anything we want. We can bag on, bash on, throw as much hate speech as we want out there. We could talk about any political party. We could talk about the president. We could talk about women, men. It doesn't matter. Straights, gays, Christians, atheists. You can bash on anybody you want. You can bash on children. It doesn't matter. All of this is free speech. Say whatever you want. Oh, but don't talk about the boss. Don't talk about the boss. That's not free speech.
Hi, guys.
Okay? So, and again, what he's doing isn't wrong. Again, that gray area of wrong. It's his company now. So he has the right, just like you do with your house. Your company is like your house. If you own a company, it's like your house. And you have the right to say, hey, what can't happen in your house? Now, you can go outside of my house and you can say whatever you want. I can't really do much of it if you're standing on the sidewalk in front of my house. That's public property. That's free speech. You ramble on all the nonsense you want to not ramble. And as long as you're not disturbing the peace by being too many decibels, you're fine. And you break out a megaphone, get some speakers and amplifier, and you start blasting all that stuff right in the neighborhood, you could get caught for disturbing the peace. But otherwise, I'm still sure you could squeak by somehow with some kind of gray area of political protest or public protest or something like that. And so you'd find some gray area to squeak by. But when you're in my house, it is my domain and I can throw you out. Same thing for my company. And if my company is a public platform like Twitter, I have the right to say what you can and cannot say on it. That is not robbing you of your free speech, because you can go elsewhere and you can talk about how horrible Twitter is and how of a horrible person I am. But on my platform, you cannot. Again, so the big thing that I feel he's doing that is wrong is misleading people. He is hiding behind this free speech, saying that I'm not doing this for my ego, I'm doing this for all of you. No, he is not doing this for anyone but himself. Which, again, I think is okay. If he wants to be a selfish jerk, it's America. You have the freedom to be a selfish jerk. Especially when you're a rich one. Doesn't make anybody like you, but I don't think he's in the interest of trying to make friends this way. I think he's trying to say what he wants and do what he wants. Then if you want to really get back to what really got him in the bad spot in the first place, is he was saying things that weren't against the political party, not against the minority, not against anything like that. He was saying things that were infringement upon Tesla board policies. He was talking about Tesla stock, which is his company, but he chose to take it public. And when he took it public, he has a board member that he has to answer to, regardless of how many shares or how much percentage of the company he owns, or whether or not it is his. He has a board to answer to, and he can't speak those things. So him owning Twitter does not mean he can tweet about certain aspects of Twitter's of things that Twitter, certain aspects of what Tesla's board says can't come out just yet because of mergers, because of deals, because of contracts, because of certain things. These things just happen. It is just the way it works when you have a publicly traded company. You have to release information in a timely manner. You okay? And you may not understand that, and that's okay, but it's just a real thing. Every publicly traded company has to abide by certain rules in order to be publicly traded. If you don't want to be publicly traded, if you don't want to follow the rules, then don't be a publicly traded company. This is just how it works. Like I said, kind of gone on a little bit, but there's kind of a lot to dig into this whole situation. So I hope y'all take this for what it is. It's just my perspective. I ain't throwing shade at Musk. I don't really care, because he doesn't really affect. Yeah?
We're gonna break a snake egg open.
Okay. All right. But Musk doesn't really have much effect on me or anything that I do. So what he does, I don't really care about. I feel bad for the people he stepped on. I feel bad for the people he's pushed aside. But at the end of the day, most of those people have been compensated more than if he would have not done what he did. So can I really say that he hurt them? Nah. But was it fair? Absolutely not. But it's the nature of being in the stock market. Any company, I've got 23 different companies in my stock portfolio right now. And any one of those companies could have a hostile takeover. And if they did, I would lose all my shares. Would I be compensated? Yes. Would I be compensated enough? I don't know. Kind of depends. Would I still feel a type of way? Yeah, absolutely. Did I hold stock in Twitter? Nope. Didn't feel like it was viable for me. Like I said, what Elon Musk is doing doesn't affect me. Do I think it's right? It's very gray area. He's following the rules, but stepping on some toes, doing a little shady things here and there. But is he breaking the rules? He's just bending them. All right, it's your boy Corey B. Y'all stay tuned. Let's talk about this more. Y'all leave some comments below. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. Y'all want to get mad? Get mad. Y'all want to get mad at Musk? Y'all want to get mad at me? That's okay. I'd love to hear what you got to say. All right, till next time, it's your boy Corey B, and I'm out.